I was actually the youngest guy in the band. I was a junior in high school, and the other guys had recently graduated, and so they were looking for a singer, so I joined the band. We made our first record shortly after, called Bust Me That 40, and it was a bunch of songs that they had already been working on, basically in Jeff, our drummer's bedroom. And so when I joined the band, I kind of just started singing those songs. We put that record out in '88, and it was on cassette only. right? And that was a big deal. That was a really big deal for us. And we sold quite a few of those. We toured a little bit around the area, sold quite a few of those, and we just kept going. We released another one very shortly after, about a year later. Moved up to CD quality at that point. And once again, throughout, with local retail and with just touring and playing around the area, we were able to sell quite a few of that record. We put one more out independently, did really well, and then we decided to really put some effort into making a record that would be heard nationally. Since we were out touring, we really wanted to put some effort into it. So we brought in a producer. Michael Vailblom had worked on quite a few records, and like, man, we want to kind of get our sound together. We already had a bunch of songs that we had been playing live, so it was kind of cool. They had already been rehearsed, tightened up. So really all we had to do was get in, record, and Michael kind of like got the sounds together and everything. So this one was Receiving the Gift of Flavor. We put it out and toured heavily on it, and sold about 40,000 copies of the record with no distribution at all. Basically just playing and selling them at the shows. So it's quite a bit, and it took a minute for the record labels to start recognizing what we were doing nationally. We were kind of off the, off the grid, exactly. So we came up with an idea that the only way that the industry would know what we were doing, where we were at, we would release the record again only at retail. There was a SoundScan was a new thing at the time, so you could actually track the sales of what a band was doing. So we released the record at retail only across the country and sold another 20,000 records. And at that point, all the record labels were like, "Oh, you guys are here." So we signed with Immortal, Epic, Sony, and they re-released the record. Pretty much the same as it is. They just put it back out with their imprint on it. And we toured for about a year and a half off that record. Got back in the studio, and at this point, expectations are different. You know, when you have a major label deal and a major label, record coming out, at this point, your label starts asking, you need to start making some hits. You guys have to start putting some hits together. So it was a little bit of different thing. So we decided to spend some more time with writing, really kind of honing our skills and writing. So we leased a house out in Washington, Missouri during the off season. We just holed up in a house. I think we were recording on ADATs at the time, and just went out there and really hunkered down and wrote some really cool songs. Wrote about 40 songs, put 12 of them on the record, but we wrote a lot of material. And that turned into a record that had one top 10 and two top 200s on it. So, and then we toured about a year off of that record, and things were kind of rolling for us, and at which point we switched labels. We switched over to Virgin Records. After Immortal switched distribution, we switched to Virgin. We made another record called Too Much Stereo, which has quite a few songs that you hear like on the radio here in St. Louis. And so that writing process was a little bit different. We cut probably 10 different demos across the country with 10 different producers, trying to look for a particular sound, trying to break out of what we already had. So we were in New York and New Orleans and LA and kind of all over the place, cutting demos. And that was actually really cool because we got a chance to kind of dig into the songs and kept, take a break from it, go back to the song, get a chance to like take a break and listen, go back through. And so this one produced 2 more top 200s, and we toured another year, a little over a year off of that record with some really cool bands. And on that particular tour, we across the whole. We did all the United States, of course, and then we started touring a lot of Europe at that point. So the band broke up in 2001, sorta, something like that. The tour was pretty grueling. We were kind of getting kind of tired, and we didn't know what we were going to do musically at that point. So we were like, let's just kind of break up, and we did. But we kind of weren't broken up really because we still had a bunch of shows we had to play. We were still on tour, sort of. So we decided once we were done with that, we were going to take a break. And I started immediately recording stuff for solo music. So I grabbed a bunch of musicians from LA, and then we kind of hunkered down. The writing process was a little bit different with that because I didn't really have a band that I'd been working with, my whole life. And so we started piecing things together with a lot of different producers and writers and players. So each song probably had different players on each track, So that was exciting. Really, first time I worked with another band. I've been in the same band my whole life up until that point, So that was exciting to work with some new music. It didn't take long before, of course, the urge to get back together again. It wasn't that long. And then we started touring again, and then we started to make records again. Maybe like 3-4 years ago, started actually putting records out again. So that's kind of our story in a short kind of way. The writing process for The Urge has always been kind of slow and long because we get everybody in the band in a rehearsal space and we just start kicking out ideas, jams, and try to find little central grooves, whatever, that we can start working with. And then we start adding vocal melodies, and then usually I'll take what we have and go back and write words and other melodies and little pieces to it, and then we bring it back, and then we try to work out arrangements, and then we record demos, and then we go back and try to work out arrangements. And so that's been our process forever. It's kind of sucky sometimes because it's like, can we get this song done? But that's our process, and we always come out with cool stuff that way. And sometimes we, get into it, but it works. It works. I think that tension, after all these years, I've been able to say that tension is what makes it work for us, So that's our story, songwriting-wise. Anything you guys want to ask? Any questions you got?
How has the industry changed since when you first started? It was major record labels.
Yeah.
Now it seems to be not major record labels. Is it still?
Yeah, not so much for what we were doing. I don't think it's before the Urge was kind of really getting out there. The major labels were signing pop acts, and even the big metal bands were considered pop acts. So it was still major, big, large things that the major labels were signing, and then we got into this alternative kind of. So all of a sudden, bands like us were getting major label deals. So that was kind of special. It was really cool. And then now we're kind of, I think, back into that whole, and underground bands like us are kind of coming back up, doing their thing, selling records independently.
So basically, you're just doing what you've always done.
Yeah. Right. But the difference now is there's not so much retail anymore. You don't actually go to a record store. There's a little bit less of that. I think I don't know, maybe it seems like maybe there's a little bit less of an opportunity for bands to make a little bit of money off of their product out and about because people just don't buy CDs as much anymore. Or maybe we're not listening to albums all the way through as much because you can get it on Spotify. But I think Spotify is awesome. I have it. I can't stop using my Spotify because I'm discovering so much music. So I'm not going to go to the record store, but I'm going to get on my phone and I'm going to discover all kinds of music. It's amazing. So there's a few differences, Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay. So you say that the record put out, so what is your process any different for writing hits, I guess, than just a song, right?
Yeah, for me it was. For me at this point, I figured I needed to learn how to arrange better with melody and and hooks and choruses and things like that. I figured I needed to learn how to do that because that's what the labels wanted. They really wanted singles, stuff that they could play on the radio because their goal is to sell records. And at that time, radio was just the way to sell records. So they want stuff that they can put on the radio. So it was kind of weird for us because we weren't used to that, and it was definitely a lot of pressure. But I felt, well, we're here. Let's do this. So